Damon Wayans, how are you doing? I used to love my wife and kids. I used to think you were a real stand-up guy. Why, Damon? Why? Lethal Weapon was a great gig. You and Clayne Crawford were great together. It was an awesome show. Why would you ruin that? You're a diva, mate. Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth. Fancy seeing you here and you. I very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down. Because as I predicted a year ago, Lethal Weapon has been cancelled at Fox. This was always going to happen. They were never going to be able to garner the ratings and support after Warner Brothers had sacked Clayne Crawford as Martin Riggs. The show just couldn't work. Clayne and Damon Wayans, what am I talking about? Start again. Clayne and Damon Wayans were a great team. It really worked. The problem here is, and I did a video about a year ago about this, and we looked at a video together, didn't we? Because Clayne did a YouTube video with someone else interviewed him, and he told us the whole sorry story. Clayne even admitted, he put some fault on his side as well. But from the very off, when he was approached, Damon Wayans never wanted this role. In fact, even Clayne turned it down 2 or 3 times because he never felt he could do it justice, seeing that the character had previously been played by the great Mel Gibson. So it was always an interesting idea. And when I heard they were doing a TV series, of course, I scoffed myself. I thought, how are they going to pull this off? But they did. It was a great show. But Damon Wayans was a big problem. He wasn't turning up on the set. He was giving Clayne problems. It was just the guy never wanted the gig. He was persuaded to do it. He was told that he would get something bigger, but the thing never happened, and he never wanted to be involved, and it became a very toxic environment. So it seems to me that this wasn't one of Warner Brothers' most coveted TV shows. I don't think they really supported it enough, and really the shit really hit the fans when Clayne directed that episode in season 2. He was losing his temper, things went wrong, he had no backup. The showrunner, according to Clayne, hardly ever used to be on set, which apparently doesn't happen normally on TV on a TV series. So the whole thing was an absolute shit show, but somehow they were pulling off the first 2 really brilliant seasons. So it all went wrong. So they sacked Clayne Crawford and backed Damon Wayans. Now, what I like about Clayne is that he admitted that he's not perfect, that he has issues, and he put his hands up about that. But the situation could not be resolved because Damon Wayans and Clayne Crawford were beyond kissing and making up. It was a big problem, and there's literally nothing they could have done about it. But very quickly after he was sacked, no one would talk to him from any importance. Some of the cast members shunned him as well. So it was a very disappointing situation. And who got hurt the most in the end? Us, the fans. We were robbed of a great show and a great partnership. So I've got his name. This is who they recast. So basically, Sean William Scott from the American Pie movies, right? He was brought in to play another character, not Martin Riggs. Basically, Sean kind of looks a little bit like Clayne, if you like. And he was going to be the same kind of character, but obviously he was playing a different character. It was never going to work because the audience, the consumer, the fans were never going to support it. Some did, but unfortunately, the thing was the duck. Once Clayne left, the balloon had been burst. It was never going to work. I argued with a lot of people who said this show could go on, this show could survive, that Clayne Crawford was the big problem, and once he left, everything would be fine. That was never the case. It was never going to happen. I predicted this from day one, and I'm not a rocket scientist for doing it. It was, as I say, a shit show, but once you get rid of a very important element who wasn't just a great actor on the show, but was going around the set, putting out fires, literally trying to save the day, trying to put out the best content, and no one was backing him. It was ridiculous. And as I say, some of the actors actually kind of turned their backs on him, didn't support him because they wanted to keep their jobs. And I think they sacked quite a few crew members that actually supported Clayne as well. So a terrible situation. I think it is a blot on Warner Brothers Television. Let's start again. It is a blot on Warner Brothers Television copybook. They didn't treat Klein well. The thing wasn't run properly from the very beginning, and this is the problem. When your showrunner isn't really in charge, when one of your co-leads is acting like a diva and the other co-lead is running around trying to, produce a show here, even though he hasn't got a producer's credit, it's a very, very difficult situation. And it's a situation that couldn't be prepared, but it is a tragedy because this was a great TV show initially. We were enjoying it. It was great. And it was tragic. It was tragic. And now Clayne Crawford's the one who's just been cast on another show, not sure which one it is. It's now Damon Wayans who will be looking for another job. But who's going to give him another job? Well, the great thing about our entertainment industry, you fail upwards. So I'm sure Damon will actually land on his feet. So my emotions about this are this. It's very disappointing, but this was always the way it was going to end. And sadly, for the fans, no more Lethal Weapon, no more Damon Wayans, no more Clayne Crawford together on screen, because they were brilliant on screen together, even though they didn't get on when the cameras were going off. And for me and the rest of the fans, I think everyone shares the same emotions, that this should never have happened. They should have cast this show the right way. They should have put maximum effort to make sure this kind of thing didn't happen, because when you hear what happened behind the scenes, you can't. I'm sorry. I know a set is very stressful. There's arguments, there's people talking all over the place. It's very stressful. It's very hard work. But at the end of the day, this level of shit, of poison, of toxicity that was going on this set cannot be allowed. An absolute tragedy, absolutely avoidable, and just a great shame that we lost an original good show. When it first started, it was awesome. And we got 2 seasons of Riggs and Murtaugh. They killed off Riggs. The whole thing was absolutely pathetic and should never be repeated on television again.